You're live. Okay, great. So this is a video. It'll be a part one, and I'm sort of brainstorming on um, the whole concept. But and I want feedback. I'd love feedback from anybody that's a yoga teacher or a yoga student or has any relationship or experience with Yoga Alliance. Because what I'd like to do is something. I'd like to start something called the Yoga Non-Alliance. So I'll tell you why, and I'll give you a bit of my experience. What's up, Solomon? Do you know anything about the Yoga Alliance? Angela! So the Yoga Alliance is this, sorry, I ate and I unbuttoned my jeans if you saw, I'm sorry. So the Yoga Alliance is, there's only one governing body for yoga, if you will, and it's called the Yoga Alliance. And the way I was introduced to the Yoga Alliance was when I took my foundational teacher training course in 2006. So the whole thing was that it was RYT 200. And the reason why it's called RYT 200 is not coincidental. It is 200 hours and it's registered yoga teacher. RYT is the acronym for that. So you have to have 200 hours, whatever. And then you get the certificate at the end. So I've been on both sides of this. I've been on the side as a teacher that has to pay $80 a year, might be more now. I think in 2006 it was like $50. Now it's like $80. So I'm going to tell you both sides, like being a person that as a teacher and a person that has a registered yoga school that costs $500 a year. And then everything else in between. And then if you guys have any questions, this is just going to be the introduction of, like, this is one of the things I want to change about this planet is that there's, how do I say, como se dice en polite? I'm not trying to, I just want to bring up, hi babe, what would you say about the Yoga Alliance if you were me right now? Because I feel tongue-tied. I'm not trying to like talk smack about the Yoga Alliance. Well, I'm going to speak facts, and I'm going to tell you that I think one of my missions on this planet is to create the Yoga Non-Alliance, okay? No fees, no dues, just fucking people helping people. Okay, which with fees and dues, facts, Yoga Alliance doesn't even do. Okay, so just to warm you up on the, I'm not playing with you, but no, just to warm you up on this. Okay, let me just start where I was. So when I was certified in 2006, when I took my first foundational teacher training, I got RYT 200 status with the Yoga Alliance. And I remember Fred Bush being like, now you can teach yoga anywhere in the world. I'm like, I'm not even like feeling comfortable teaching yoga to your fucking class, which I've been going to for like a year. What are you talking about? I told you guys, like, I feel like that training should be, I have ideas. Okay. So, they didn't have, I was grandfathered into like I was 2006. They changed a bunch of shit in 2013, 14, whatever, when I had to rewrite my manual for Agni. And it was like 2 hours in this, 4 hours in this. I was like, what the fuck? I have 200 hours with these people. Why would I like, they can read about yoga history at home. I'm like sending them out into the world with my name on certificates to work with human bodies. What the fuck with this place? Okay. So when you get your first training, you do your foundational training, your RYT 200, which I literally don't think 60% of the people that I graduated, and I was very strict and I spent extra time making sure stuff, like you need time, right? Like a little bit, but studios were making money. It became yoga. That's my biggest qualm with Yoga Alliance is it seems to be more about money than about anything else. Okay. So I remember getting my certificate, which I still have somewhere, like the little things that have like come with me through this journey in the last 10 years or 15 years amaze me. The fact is, it's like signed by Paul Talicious and Fred Bush. It's so cute. So it said Miami Yoga Shala and had a stamp, said Yoga Alliance. And, like in 2006, it was like Yoga Alliance. Who's that? It was like, wow, I'm a teacher for the Yoga Alliance, right? And then when you submit so the whole, they tell you, and I had to tell like every training group. So now you go to the Yoga Alliance, you type my blah, 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 and then they send me, make sure that this person took your class and whatever, and fulfilled all the requirements. So that happens. And I remember the first time I did it, I was like, and I just spent, I think my teacher training was like $2,500 or something. My boyfriend at the time paid for half. My dad paid for half. But then I went to sign up to get my registered yoga teacher training card for the Yoga Alliance, and it was like $50. I was like, what? It's more than that every year now, just so you know. It's $80, I think. And I think for like my ERYT, I have to pay more. And then I called my girl. This is like when I started to think about this whole concept. What month are we now? September. Let's call it circa April. A girl, Yuli Heaton. She's like my soul sister. So she taught for me in Miami. I knew her before I did teacher training in Miami. She's been teaching 10 years longer than me. Yuli speaks like this because she's from Peru. And when she's in a good mood, she might make you Peruvian corn. But you have to be nice. Or not. Doesn't matter. Or go to Kabbalah class. This you can do too. And maybe you'll get Peruvian corn. I consider her I would say, she has 10 years under her belt than me, right? If that makes sense. So, okay, couple things that are just funny. First of all, she's one of my favorite people on the planet, one of my best friends. Like I said, soul sister. I've had her teach at my studio in Miami. She was under me and Mark Gibrelli, brought in the most students. I had her facilitate different parts of teacher training, which is so she'll come in and teach basically just take over the group and be the facilitator. And I can go home and walk the dogs, or I can go get coffee, or I can take the day off and she can teach this and this and this. She didn't teach whole days. Other trainees and teachers did. She taught more sections of stuff. And then we did like adjustment things together. So I had her teach at my studio. I had her facilitate teacher trainings. What else? Sub-privates of mine, sub-classes of mine, anything. Yuli would be me, but with a Peruvian accent, but a little bit different, right? So it was like last April. So this is 2008, I opened Just Breathe. So I've known Yuli since 2002. So I've known her for 20 years. I just realized that. Wow. So last March, and as a yoga person, so last March we're talking and I'm like, yo, Yuli, I'm like, dude, I said something about Yoga Alliance. I said they wanted me to renew my RYS, which is my registered yoga school. Okay. So I have ERYT 200 status, which is experienced registered yoga teacher, 200 hours since 2009. So then there's RYS, which is registered yoga school. And I'm basically like a walking yoga school. Like once I submitted my manual, it was approved, etc. So, but for my registered yoga school, it's like $480 or something. So it's like, yo, Yuli, like this is last March, April, whatever. I'm like, yo, Yuli, have you paid your Yoga Alliance thing? Like, especially since like 2020 and stuff, like, are people asking for it or whatever? Like, it's kind of a lot. And by the way, since 2006, I've been paying these motherfuckers $50 to $80 a year just to be a teacher, just for my ERYT or RYT, depending if it was before 2009 or whatever. And then the RYS for $50 to $500 a year, whatever it is, for just 6 years at 500 plus 80. I've given these people so much money. Plus, everybody that I fucking certify pays them money. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a huge fucking thing. And Yuli says, Ashley, typical Yuli, and typical why I love her. She goes, Ashley, I never got this. I'm like, I think she took like an advanced training or a couple days advanced training with Fred and I, and like whatever. She was like, from what she was teaching 10 years before I did my training. Get it? Like I used to take her classes when I was in teacher training, if that makes sense. We're like kind of on the same level now, but I was like, wait, come again? She's like, Ashley, I never did the Yoga Alliance thing. I think it's a scam. Yuli, what the fuck? Like, first of all, so then let me get to like the other side of it. So she worked at my studio, and I never asked her for it. Okay, studios never ask for it. Couple times, like random ass places, like hotels or gyms or apartment buildings will ask you if you have insurance, like yoga insurance. And I've just given them my Yoga Alliance card, being like, I think they just want something to Xerox, you know, because then yoga insurance is a whole other scam. Like, fuck you. The liability is on you. Have them sign a piece of paper that says, here's my advice, guys. If you're teaching, it's real simple. Get a piece of paper, and have a few of them printed with you. And don't, if you're teaching in places, you don't need to have fucking insurance. I mean, whatever. If you have questions, you can always email me, but like, I mean, better type it, right? I am consenting to take this yoga class, and if anything should happen, I will not be suing, and just have them sign it. It's super easy. So on the other end, so every yoga studio from Miami to Los Angeles to all over the world that I've taught never asked me about Yoga Alliance status. I've never really, the only time I gave a shit about Yoga Alliance status is when a teacher would be coming to interview to work at my studio. I'm like, whose training did they take? Because I can get a vibe of like what kind of teacher they were with or whatever, or how many trainings they've taken, or how long that they've taught more than this. Let's see. Did I hire people that were not certified? Okay, so there were a couple teachers that were older, and two just pop into my head, and they like took training, like just so I could like, I was like, you can like take my training, I'll like let you take it, like not charge you, you know? Lori Miller was one. I think she paid half. I'm not sure. That was a while ago. Okay, so Yoga Alliance card for me as a teacher has never made a fucking shit difference when I show up somewhere to teach. When I write, like over the 17 years, almost 18 years I've been teaching, when I write biographies and stuff or articles or websites, like ERYT since 2009, nobody really knows what the fuck it is. And then this on this, that on that. Yoga Alliance could have done so much more for yoga teachers, yoga studios. In like just the 17 years that I've been a Yoga Alliance, I just stopped paying this year. When Yuli told me that, I was like, wait, so you just never like went and filled that whole shit out? Like, because she took Fred Bush's training like 10 years before me. I'm like, so you just never did that? She's like, oh, no, I feel that a little, but no, I'm not paying this $80 a year. And for good reason. Let me think of this. 80 times 17, guys, whoever's good at math. 500. No, we'll even lowball it. Why are we going to lowball it? 500 times 6. 3 years at Just Breathe, 3 years at Agni. And then think about the fact, which just occurred to me, guys, as I was talking to you right now. They're charging me $500 a year to work my ass off and run these teacher trainings, which I have to have a yoga approved manual, right? And each one of the people that I train and certify goes straight to them, and they collect money from them every year for as many years as they teach or like whatever. So let's talk about what the Yoga Alliance does for you. I can't really think of anything, honestly, besides the fact that it's the only governing body of yoga, right? And then having like the whatever, I had like certificates on my stupid wall that said like registered yoga school, Yoga Alliance. I don't think anyone gave a shit about it. And I think it would be super easy to start something with like me and maybe a few of you and not charge, but just be a network of people that are like doing what Yoga Alliance should have been doing with all the money that they've been taking instead of doing nothing. I remember there was some situation, I think it was when I was opening Agni and I like needed, okay. I'm opening Agni and I like needed to get teacher training going. It was like a huge part of the business manual. I mean, the business model. And they're like, I don't know, whatever. I was in the Middle East and someone was communicating with them, which is probably not the best person to have communicate with anyone. But at the same time, they're very annoying to communicate with. Imagine this. I don't care if you're a fucking yogi or not. I haven't looked at the chat, so I'm not going to say it. You call someone and you have like some kind of like, not emergency. Like that's another thing. There's nothing you could have an emergency or major problem that the Yoga Alliance would be able to solve. They're not equipped for that. And in 17 years collecting so much money, they're still not equipped to do anything except send you like these spammy ass emails all the time, which I wish they would stop doing that. So you call because, I needed to get, they were like giving us all these problems with my manual and saying that I had to have this, like I had to like basically rewrite my manual because they changed the different sections of hours requirements and none of it made sense, but that's okay. So I'm calling from the Middle East. The girl that's working with me is calling from LA. And then we call conference call at one point. Hi, we're helping other yogis right now. Please stay on hold and we'll be right with you. Namaste. It makes you want to fucking kill someone. Like, what? Are you crazy? And I also feel like it's probably, and maybe why it's successful in its own right, not run by yogis at all. John Doe, that couch looks so comfy. It is. And you know what? I know it's ghetto, but I cover all my couches with my blankets for my dogs. So it's a rotation of like cleaning the blankets, but this blanket is spot on. It's like super soft, and it was like way too hot last week when it was like a gal. When it was the heat wave, I was like, I can't sit on this. Gail, I've been doing the 10. Okay, we're moving to 15 if we're ready. Today. I did 15 once today. I'm going to do it again, though. I've been doing it twice a day. I think once is not enough. I think that the trainer that I have is just like, I want to make sure you at least do that, which I get it. And I like that because I know that for sure I'm at least going to do those 10. But I like to add on the extra. And sometimes I do 3. But if you want, it was kind of funny. I think it was yesterday or the day before. He's like, we can move up to 15. I'm like, again, 15 isn't going to work for the lunges. Okay, it has to be an even number. So we'll go 20, the walk lunges. You can't do 5, which was the first option, or you have to do 10. Can't do 15. You could do 18 theoretically, but let's make it 20. Is anyone noticing a difference? I feel like I am. I bet anything, if you guys are doing them, you're feeling it mostly on your front thigh muscles. Those are your quadriceps. Just an FYI, the muscle group that pumps most of your blood, that's responsible for pumping the most blood to your heart is quadriceps, front thigh muscles. So, i.e., the muscles that are most important or integral for circulation. So, chair pose, stuff like this. New Zealand. Yeah, she's in Australia. I was like, did she go to Australia? Lungs. Angela. Yep, I'm up. Okay, well, we're going to move it up to 15 today if we're ready. Dude, you know what's amazing? Angela, I know you've been doing them every day. Didn't by like, when did we start it? Like 11 days ago or something like this? This is a very important concept because, okay, you guys saw me kind of huffing and puffing like the first day that we did them. Or I think I brought them to you guys like the third day I started doing them, whatever. So, Angela, have you noticed that like 10, you're like, I don't know how you were the first 10 or whatever, but haven't you noticed they've gotten easier? Can you say yes or no? Amy, are you on NYC? Where's Amy? Hi, Amy. I don't see Amy. Citizen M, I love these stories. I finished my article and I submitted it, you guys. Oof. Done. Like, okay, do you want to know what happened before? I had it all written out on one computer. Wait for it. Wait, hold on. I'm waiting to hear back from Angela. Angela, did it feel easier, the 10? In some time, or since the first day we did it to now? Can you say yes or no, Angela? So I wrote, Niet, come here. So I wrote everything out. I sent it to another computer. So it's looking for images, whatever, guys. I was trying to put all this like energy into this, right? And I felt already, I'm like overthinking this, you know? I think that doing some of the YouTube videos that I did, okay, but remind me to get back to what I was just talking about if it's relevant. Angela, you said yes. I have to tell you something really important. They didn't get easier. You got stronger. Does that make sense? I'm going to let that sit in for a second. Things don't get easier, guys. And this is something that I love to carry on just beyond the physical. Like the squats and the 10 squats and the 10 lunges and or 20, what did we say? Yeah, 10 lunges and 10 jumping jacks. They didn't get easier, Angela. That would be not possible. You got stronger. Isn't that cool? Oh, so I wrote out this stuff. I was on this other computer. I like found images of myself because I was like, I don't have time to like, I don't know. I asked San Jose to take some pictures of me and I was like, I don't know, you know? So I just found like other images, whatever, that were cool. And I also wanted to shout out like photographers that have done stuff for me in the past. So I had it on one computer. I had all this stuff written out, but I was like, I don't like it. And I noticed something definitively about me as a writer. I cannot write something. Okay, so I don't know if some of you guys know that I minored in creative writing. Like I've been a writer since I was little. I was like published in the Georgetown Muse when I was like 11. It was a haiku. It wasn't like a haiku. It was a haiku. Anyway, I've learned this definitively about myself as a writer. I cannot go back and like do stuff. So this whole story is a blessing. And what some people might think was like unfortunate or inauspicious. So I wrote this whole thing and I didn't allocate. I've been allocating like every moment that I feel creative, whatever. The article is submitted. But anyway, I wrote this whole thing. So there was the story part, then there was the obstacles and challenges part, then there was what makes you like strong or successful, what are you the most proud of, blah, blah, blah. So there was like 4 different like main parts. So the story part, I like wrote it all and I included like the parent stuff. And like, I used to make this joke like that my Just Breathe, my first studio was like for my mom and my second studio was for my dad because I gave up Just Breathe to move here from my mom's stroke. And then I basically gave up Agni to be with my dad for my dad's stroke. And I was like, Ash, let's reframe this. Like, And I was like, let's just take that out. And if I want to write anything about obstacles or challenges or mention any of that, do it in the obstacles challenges part. That's what I meant. If I want to mention it all, do it there. So I was like, but when I do that and it's already like stuff that I've written, it's like, "Ugh!" Because just the way I write, it's just the way I write. So anyway, I like went to it like 2 different times and I was like, but which part? Because I am a good writer. Like some sentences were like gold. So what I'll end up doing is like I'll end up like trying to conserve the gold chunks and like none of it will make sense. It'll just be some long ass shit like the first article for this magazine, which let's face it, there was a lot of typos. But I didn't know that they weren't gonna check it. Anyway, so I came back to my computer on Sunday morning and it was my whole plan was on Sunday morning to go to my computer and to find the golden nuggets and just be ruthless about deleting the parts about, stuff that I don't need to talk about anymore because it's not part of like my story today, whatever. And not what I want to communicate. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to communicate strength and fun and optimism and cool stuff, not like, strokes and whatever, hospitals and like whatever. So I came back and it was all gone. I was like, so I felt this kind of like upset, like I have to start all over. But like this other part of me was like, dude, this is so much better. Like, so I just like nailed it Sunday morning. And that was great. And yeah, and what pictures did I use? So I used Thomas Sangria, his picture. That's the one that's like with the fire. I used Tim Calver's picture. That's the underwater yoga. And then just like random yoga expo pictures and like me teaching pictures. What's up, Jade? I feel like I am. My energy got yeah, I feel like that I was listening to, I know some of you guys listen to Queen Cup Tarot, and she's talking about how energy now is not like there's up and like we used to know like, and a lot of us didn't really what's the word? Lean into like has to be up and down, but she was talking about embracing the possibility that there can be up and down at the same time. Like your energy can be feeling a little off, but you can be okay at the same time. Your energy can be feeling super happy, but you stay just like what's the word I'm looking for? Balanced, grounded at the same time. You can be angry, but stay in peace at the same time. You can be disappointed or frustrated, whatever it is, but stay in contentment, stay in faith, stay in gratitude, happiness, positivity. Empress, I meant to text you back. Hi. What were Empress and I talking about earlier? So I guess, like, have any of you guys taken yoga classes? Have you ever cared or known as a student if a yoga teacher was certified by the Yoga Alliance, and or if you did it mean anything to you? Yes, no, maybe so. I don't think so. Oh, so on the teacher side, if you never own a yoga studio and you just have this card, what happens is they send you a letter every year and they say, if you don't pay us, it gets up to $80. It doesn't get up to $80. I'm saying, I believe when I started, it was 50 or 60 in 2006. It's 80 or 85 now. And for $80 or $85 a year, I cannot tell one service that they give you. I have had one in 17 years, almost 18 years, right? Are we almost 17, 18? I forget. Since 2006, I've had one person email me, one referral from the Yoga Alliance website. One. I kind of feel like it was a lying thing or something. It was a doctor that wanted to hire me to teach his office yoga, and he found me on the Yoga Alliance, and he just emailed me back and forth like, I don't know, he wasted, I don't know, 2 hours of my time cumulatively, and he never hired me. So the benefits you're supposed to get, they don't insure you. But if a place doesn't give a fuck and they just want something to Xerox, I'm not suggesting you do it. I'm just saying I've done it. You can give them the Yoga Alliance card. Because then a whole other thing is like buying yoga insurance. Because gyms and stuff like this will ask you, which is dumb as fuck. You're working at a gym. Hello. Like, why don't they have fucking liability waivers there for you? Retards. And if you look up, I remember when I moved to LA and I left my studio, I started from scratch, like teaching anywhere that I could. And a lot of places would ask if I had yoga insurance, and I never had to look into anything like that. And it was like the lowest I saw was like $120 or something. And that's for you to be a teacher and be covered somehow. It just all sounded really fucking weird and complicated. Bottom line is a contract is a contract. If someone signs a piece of paper, it says they're not going to sue you for anything that happens in the period of time, the activity that you're going to be teaching them or whatever time you're spending together. That's it. They can't. So many people, I mean, like when they say like yoga is $1 billion business, and like I always think that's just Lululemon and Gail the pant. Oh, Gail. It's the top. I love the color. And the pants feel really good too. I think I like gained a couple pounds one week. Whatever. Doesn't matter. These pants Gail sent me, I felt like they were like compression pants. And I was like, they don't seem like they're that big. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let me be more effective right now. So as a teacher, as a yoga teacher, paying the what is now $80 to $85 a year just to have this RYT or ERYT card that no one will ever ask for. Most people don't even know about. I mean, unless you've taken a teacher training or looked into taking a teacher training, you would never even know what the fucking Yoga Alliance is. Of course, I would frame the like in my studios, I would have the Yoga Alliance like, and every year they have to renew them or whatever. So, it's like this, whatever. It's like, it's dumb. Like, besides, like, it's like a gold stand. It's like, it's dumb. It's very dumb. And I have to tell you straight up, well, let me stick to one thing at a time. Let me say the sentence though, so I don't forget it. What happened in 2013 and how they changed the requirements of the teacher training manual only made it more difficult for yoga facility trainer, like people like me. It made it much more difficult to prepare safely people to work with human bodies. It was stupid. As a teacher, no benefits. It says a bunch of shitty emails and then once a year a bill. I've seen like emails where like it's like so and I'll tell you this because I can tell you as a teacher, but also a teacher who's been on the other side of it. It's like bullshit. It's like I've gotten like dumbass emails like, listen to, I'll tell you how to make more money as a yoga teacher. It's like, get on the street. That's how you make more money as a yoga teacher. Like, go to studios, take classes, like figure it out. Yoga Alliance isn't doing anything. As a yoga school, and this is literally the first time I'm fucking processing this, which is crazy. They charge me $500 a year, monitor my fucking manual, like fucking, and every person that graduates, I'm sending them years and years and years of annual income to. What the fuck? It's stupid. As a yoga studio owner, owned a studio in Miami Beach, both sides of the country, and LA. How much did I give a shit about someone's yoga alliance standing? Nothing. I hired people that had zero yoga alliance standing. Kundalini teachers mostly don't go through yoga alliance. They have their own thing. Kundalini teachers didn't have it. Mark Gibrelli, I don't think had it at first, but I think he got it because he wanted to. And he didn't care. He was from Scotland. That's why. I mean, Yoga Alliance is global, but, and I also want to say this, my participation in this, which is, hindsight's always 2020, right? But in what I really want to manifest, which is the Yoga Non-Alliance, and what I have participated in with the Yoga Alliance is this. So I paid to be a teacher. I thought that everyone did it. When Yuli told me, Ashley, I have never paid this before, I was like, what? I was just like, okay, so I'm not paying this. You know what I mean? So when we would advertise teacher trainings, it would always focus on Yoga Alliance certified. That was a part of the selling ticket, or the selling, or the whatever, the marketing. I mean, no, I was going to say my part in it. I mean, I didn't really know and think about much of this until the last year or so, right? Brian Kest was a big non-Yoga Alliance person, and he's in the same lineage of teachers as me. He used to own Santa Monica Power Yoga. I think he lives in Hawaii now. He's amazing. If you know about Brian Kest, the first time I met him was working at an event that he taught in Fort Lauderdale. I was like a ticket girl for him or whatever, back in 2007 or something. I remember he started doing trainings and charging about the same. So the reason that studios were able to charge whatever was because of the Yoga Alliance certification, right? I never really put together until right now, and also a conversation with Ryan I had recently, how fucking useless they were. But even a friend of mine opened a studio in another country, based on my manual and stuff. And when I was talking to her people and how to do it, I was just explaining how to deal with the Yoga Alliance and shit. So stupid. Hence Yoga Alliance is coming soon. Non-Alliance. I forgot my train of thought. I would say probably the best teachers. It didn't really matter. Yoga Alliance has never mattered as a studio owner. As a teacher, if you're going to a apartment complex or something like this, it's something that you'll write. And I think it kind of knew people didn't know about it. And it's the only one. So it's not like you can be Yoga Alliance or something else. You know what I mean? There's only one governing body. Yeah, but I feel like they're also just kind of chilling now, they would have done something. They should have done so much. And I guess I'm not ragging on them. I'm just speaking the truth of my experience and other people's experience. Let's see if I have anything else to say about the Yoga Non-Alliance right now. My intentions for it, that it's just a community, that it's basically doing everything that Yoga Alliance is not doing and what it should be doing, but for free, right? So people can just have a community of the regulatory standards make zero sense, right? When they updated them in 2013, it made even less sense. It felt very much like it was in alignment with where things are going, where things were going. which is that these teacher trainings are more like a way for studios to make money. You have no idea how many people came to audition for me and took 200-hour RYT 200, RYT 500, and literally didn't even know inhales, exhales. I can tell you a couple of core power yoga, abused the fuck out of it. A place I worked called Earth's Power Yoga. I didn't even want my name on it anymore. The guy only knew anatomy, so he was like only teaching anatomy. I'm like, these people are not going to know what to do teaching a class when all they hear is like femur and tibula all day. Like, except for the 3 hours that I'm there, I don't even want my name on this. Hot 8 yoga. What's that one called? Some good teachers came out of it, but mostly it was like they were just pulling through and they were charging like $3,200. Oh, the biggest racket of all time would be Bikram. Motherfuckers charging 15 to 20 grand per teacher training. And people would have to have their own lodgings and stuff because I think you had to stay there. I knew a few people that took them. One I was very close to. The only, I guess, sort of thing is you like after you pay the 15 or 20 grand for your fucking yoga teacher training, Bikram yoga teacher training, you take Bikram classes forever for free. But who the fuck wants to do that anyway? Anyway, he's a scandal and a half. I should do a video about him because people are still like, Ash, do you like Bikram? I'm like, oh my God, how do you guys not know about Bikram? He's a monster. It's such a great color, right? It goes with everything, kind of like beige. All right, I love you guys. I love you guys. And whoever wants to take a yoga teacher training, if you're interested in it, let me know. It doesn't, but it does. And at least I'm not wearing it with diapers like you know who. But I shouldn't say that because he's not so far away, is he? I love you guys. Mwah. Have a great night. Thanks for being here and thanks for watching.